Hi, I'm Paige, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create a split hem with a ribbon facing. It's quick and easy. Let's jump right into the tutorial. I'll show you with this sample how to create a facing like this out of ribbon. So I sewed up this little sample, I hemmed the bottom and serged the side to the point where I wanted it to be split. And at the split we're going to snip in about 1/4 of an inch in. So I'm going to take this ribbon, and in order to get the shiny side facing forward, you're going to start with the shiny facing downward, and you're going to line up the bottom of that ribbon with that cut edge, and then stitch right along the original stitch line, anchoring the ribbon down onto the fabric. And you just backstitch, and it'll look like this. So we're going to be opening and exposing the right side of the fabric and folding and pulling that ribbon to face downward. And we're going to stitch along the very, very edge, anchoring the ribbon to the fabric. And I just trim my threads as I go to make sure it's clean as I work. You can see the shiny side of the ribbon is facing upward. So we're going to do the same thing to the other side, is fold this out of the way and then turn the ribbon down, and we're going to stitch along the very edge, anchoring that side down. Start at the point and just stitch all the way down and backstitch at the bottom. Now when you open this up and press it, you can see the facing taking shape. And we're going to trim off any excess of the ribbon, and then we're going to turn this like we're hemming it, and then fold it over to where that raw edge of the ribbon is sandwiched between the outside of the fabric and the ribbon, and it's hidden. And do the same thing on the other side and pin that, and you're ready to stitch. So we're going to stitch the border and pivot on these little angles. When you pivot, make sure your needle is down. That makes it easier and cleaner. And backstitch, and then everything is sewn perfectly. You can give this a final press, and it's finished. And that's how quickly that comes together. It's super fun, super easy, and there's so many different applications that you can use this technique on. For the hem of a shirt or a dress, around the hem of the bottom of your pants, or shorts or capris, anything like that. Another idea that you could use this on is kind of the little keyhole at the back of a blouse, where you have a center back seam and you want to put a little loop or a hook in an eye. That would be a fun way to close that up. And then you can use a whole variety of different types of ribbon. So I used a shiny satin ribbon for this example, and then something that was more of like a cotton texture with more of a grip. And I can say it's easier to sew this than it is the satin. So to practice, you might want to start with something that's less slippery. If you want to make it a little bit more fancy, you could use something like this velvet ribbon. And this is probably as thin as I would go, because this is 3/8 of an inch, and probably your smallest seam allowance is going to be 1/4 of an inch, and you want your ribbon to be able to cover up that seam allowance. But this one could be really fun. You can also use single fold bias tape, or just make your own bias tape out of the same fabric to where it totally blends in if you don't want to have any contrast. So you can go grab some little scraps like this and short pieces of ribbon that you already have on hand and practice this technique for your next project. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up right down below. You can click subscribe and the little bell alert next to it to be notified anytime that I post a video. Until next time, go get creative and make something you love. Bye.